I think that's good enough. Thank you guys for jumping on. I appreciate it. Give yourself a round of applause. Welcome to the Biffcave. I am your host, Biff, as you no doubt have guessed. First of all, I had a chat with Humbird. Thank you very much for the donation and actually my first subscription today. So, hey, how about that? Hey, congratulations for finding me, first of all. No, I mean, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's the first of many, I hope. Make sure you use those sub-tender subscription deals because it's only like $2 to subscribe to people right now. So every little bit helps those streamers. Remember, they're all small business people out there doing their own thing on these channels, which I think is awesome, and sharing a lot of things outside of gaming. So if you haven't explored Twitch in a while, especially, go do it. A lot of awesome personalities out there, not just, again, games, but entertainment and engagement, people actually networking. A lot of fun. Thank you guys for joining. If you haven't messed with the avatars, feel free to do so. I'm learning things as I go on there, but definitely like you guys from the Goldman Sachs crew and Southern Star and everyone that joins me every week. I'll try to get like a custom avatar made for you guys, which I didn't even know I could do. So I'm learning as I go. We have a couple of things that we're going to talk about markets tonight, but again, I want this to be interactive. So if you have any questions, feel free to jump in the chat. Let me know if there's anything that you would like to look at specifically, crypto related or not. We can jump into any sort of markets discussion. I'm happy to do that. I'm going to, keep that short and sweet and keep the content relevant to those that are watching, right? So if you're outside there and you haven't jumped on Twitch, make sure to do that. Jump on, throw me a follow. But if you're out there in Twitter land or watching on YouTube or wherever it may be in one of these videos, I appreciate the subscriptions and follows and hit those button presses because every little bit helps. Yeah, follow each other. You know what I mean? Follow real people that you meet out there because there's just too much fake. There's just too many people out there looking to scam, rip people off. Especially around gaming and crypto right now. It's just it's an interesting time in the market where there's been a lot of sell off and a lot of those people have moved away from these markets because just quite frankly, the money moved away from them, right? So, a lot of inexperienced investors, a lot of people, maybe investing for the first time are easy targets, right? And it's up to people like us to help those kind of people, at least get them steered in the right direction. I'm not saying that, that you need to go out there and be a crusader, but if you can just help one person, maybe that person will help somebody else. And that's how these things kind of work. Change the perception of, I don't want to say change the perception of the cryptocurrency industry, but I mean, that's kind of what we're talking about, right? It has a very negative veil around it. And especially the last couple of years with, these huge market movements and altcoins and shit coins, if you want to call them that or whatever, people got crushed, right? So that's not a good sentiment. That's not a good, overall feeling of these markets. But again, even if you were taking shots and, buying stuff in 2017 and you held it through 2018, as long as you weren't over leveraged or overexposed, which is something we preach, right? Quote unquote responsible finance, there was opportunities to bounce back, guys. There always is. Any markets, free traded markets, crypto aside, all of them have opportunities, right? They all do, but sometimes patience, sometimes not trading, sometimes not buying, and just the best, right? Again, I'm gonna when we talk cryptocurrency, like I always kind of put the disclaimers out there. Remember, guys, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin is a small percentage of my overall portfolio. I'm not an investment advisor, or any sort of advisor whatsoever. Always do your diligence. I'm one person with my own opinions. And I like to go get other people's opinions. And that's what we do in Goldman Sachs. That's my little, financial club, if you want to call them that. Well, a lot more than that, obviously. People from all over the world, people with, various backgrounds and all kinds of finance and business. And we've collaborated for many, many years. And it's just always nice to have somebody to bounce ideas off of, or, somebody that you can trust, that you can go to, that has an unbiased opinion. I'll try to be that person for you guys. And we should be that, those people for each other, right? And just like, I don't know, we'll dive right into some of the market stuff here, but just kind of one of the things that recently happened to me, I'm a Facebook moderator on a lot of groups too. And there's, newer investors or people kind of looking at crypto for the first time that might think, now is a decent time to kind of buy in, or an opportunity to buy some things while they're low. And maybe, these markets are kind of changing or shifting. If you don't know your way around Coinbase, for instance, and this is something we can talk about right now. Coinbase is kind of like a 2-layer user interface. If you're just on Coinbase on your phone and you're buying a little crypto or whatever, you pay a little fee, use your credit card, whatever, not a big deal, right? But if you're buying, a Bitcoin or higher, thousands of dollars investing, you don't want to just go onto the phone on Coinbase and pay those fees. It's absolutely insane. You want to do that on a desktop. They have a desktop product called Coinbase Pro. I haven't even done it on my phone in a long time because I don't really use Coinbase anymore, but they might have a product on the phone too. I'm not sure, but Coinbase Pro actually gives you the ability to go out to their website, look at a chart, and then put in a limit order, or, a sell order or buy order or whatever, and not pay those insane, processing fees. But if you don't know that, right? Or if someone never really showed you, and you were on the outside and you have never touched Bitcoin, and you had never bought cryptocurrency before, somebody said, just go out to Coinbase and buy Bitcoin. Well, that's what I see people do all the time. And they're just paying these, absolutely insane fees. And I want to vomit, I just, but again, the only thing that's going to help that kind of thing is education, right? People like us helping people. I don't want to necessarily say that you need to be in forums and like watching that kind of thing, but only people like us banding together and helping each other will change those kind of perceptions and understanding. Right, that's another good point, right? So a lot of people I talk to Bitcoin for the first time are like, oh, Bitcoin's $10,000 a coin. Well, I mean, you can literally buy a fraction of any of these coins, right? At any time. If you're in the United States, especially, it's just so much easier today to buy Bitcoin than it was. Now, there are certain things around know your customer, and, maybe we can talk about that in a separate show as well. But Cash App, for instance, makes it extremely easy to buy just little chunks of Bitcoin right now. Exactly. And that's something I always recommend, especially for beginning investors or people that might want to try to enter some of these markets with a lower risk associated with it, is definitely, dollar cost averaging, right? Like that. It's boring, guys. It's not exciting. It's not 20x leverage. It's not going to make you $1 million overnight, on some crazy gamble. But it's, it's long-term playing, right? So if you buy a little bit every couple of weeks, or buy every, a little bit every paycheck, is pretty much what I do these days. That dollar cost average over the long haul makes, volatility less extreme. And, that's just basic math, right? It's not exciting. And, some of the stuff we're going to talk about is not exciting, but, too much excitement will get you wrecked. Trust me. And, I've done all the trading in crypto, and I've been on BitMEX doing the, not showering for 3 days and having a stick of deodorant on my desk, and sweat pouring off my face trying to make good trades, right? And it's exciting, and some people are really good at it, and I'm being extreme, obviously. I mean, to trade on BitMEX, you don't have to do that, but I've done really well, and I've also lost a shit ton of money. So I can say that from experience. There's no need to do that kind of stuff. If you're getting into this thing and you want just to get that little exposure to Bitcoin or some of these cryptos, just buy a little bit at a time. Trust me, it's still early, right? Especially if we're talking about Eng, so maybe that's a good segue to jump into some of these cryptos. So the daily candle just closed on Bitcoin, and if you guys have any comments about any of that stuff, let me know. The volume is still low, so it's at 1.8 million, which is, way down. However, the open interest is quite high, so it's up, up around, 1.8 billion, up around 900 million. So that's actually, I don't want to say represents indecision, but that definitely means there's longs and shorts open, and we don't need to get into, the specifics of what that means. I don't know, short term on Bitcoin, it looks like we're into some more consolidation here. I'm until this kind of chop works its way out and decides whether or not we're going to go test this 9K range or go back up and, retest some of these highs. This 11.1 mark is still, going to be my line in the sand. It's the midpoint between, this price range here. So that's what I would be watching. I'm leaving this backed launch date on Bitcoin because I think it is important. It is the only, futures launch that I'm aware of that the contracts can be settled in Bitcoin. So without, again, getting too deep into that and going down the rabbit hole, unless you guys want to talk about that, a splitter that might be relevant to you, but probably not relevant to anyone else. I just want you guys to know that, this is the 23rd. It's on my calendar. I'm keeping an eye on it simply because these are futures that if a trader held open for more than the expiration on the futures contract, they have the option for the first time ever in the history of Bitcoin to take delivery of that product, a physical delivery of Bitcoin. Now, I don't know how that works. This is all new. We're going to have to learn as we go, but that's part of what I like doing, as an analyst, is learning this stuff and, asking questions. And there's really not many people that know much about this. So we're all learning together. This is very new. But they do have the option to take the delivery in Bitcoin at the end of the contract if it were to still be open. Now, most of the time they're trading these things intraday or intermonth or whatever, and they don't have open contracts at the end of them. But again, that is it's different from what we have today. So today, if a contract is settled, best of my knowledge, it's basically settled in cash. And again, I don't know why a trader would necessarily want to take physical delivery of Bitcoin unless they wanted to keep those contracts open for a particular reason. But it could stimulate something, right? Could stimulate the need for physical Bitcoin to actually be printed, right, and vaulted. And that's something we've never done before in these markets. And, it's something that would have to be done in an ETF, which is something I might be interested in holding in a retirement account. Again, I can't speak for everyone, but those are things that have been like carrots, that they've held out in front of the market the last, years, several years. They keep talking about ETFs and, these Bitcoin funds and a lot of garbage. Right, when I retire next year. You're a funny dude, man. I'm not that old either. I'm old. I had to crack a glow stick. That one's for hummingbird. Appreciate that. So anyway, let's digress. I got a nice fresh glow stick here. I'm gonna add this one to the chain link boom of fame here that's growing. I don't know if Dilemma joined, but we'll go look at Link too. And if there's anything else you guys want to look at, just throw me a symbol in the chat room. Instead of going forward with more advanced stuff, I'm actually going to be taking a step backwards. So I'm going to be doing some really basic videos, charting 101, markets 101, more like, trying to mentor people that are on the outside, like we were talking about, just with maybe things that would have been nice to know when I got started. Yeah. And not just, not some of the advanced stuff, right? Because I think that's where there's kind of a gap right now. And it's amazing to me too, like a lot of I don't want to say younger people, like I'm some old dude, but you know what I mean, like a younger crowd that's learning cryptocurrency on the fly and learning how to chart actually is learning how to do trend analysis on Bitcoin. Like that's something I never thought about before, right? This is a whole generation of people that's learning how to chart and do trend analysis on cryptocurrency. I mean, that's obviously not, my background, right? I mean, I started, just charting markets and stocks and stuff like that. So it's interesting to think about that. A different perspective, I guess. I mean, some of these guys have never charted a stock or even looked at a stock, right? Why would they be interested in that? Interesting. So anyway, we're leaving that on there. I'm expecting more chop, guys. So again, I'm not doing any short-term trading. That's really easy for me to say, right? If you're looking for a short-term trading plan, or like some of the guys that that we know and work with like to do a lot of short-term trading and shorting Bitcoin. Again, I'm not saying anything about any of that. There's some amazing traders around cryptocurrency that do very well, guys, and they, don't care if it's going up or down. They just want to be on the right side of the trade. Again, me personally though, my 2 cents just short term is we do some more ranging here. Again, and I don't know if this is going to be some kind of catalyst or mark. We could draw some trend lines, roughly, I guess, and still kind of make those triangles. As soon as this first one broke, though, I wasn't more as interested, I guess, in this pattern. But you could definitely draw it like that, or just use this bottom line and call it a wedge. Again, though, is traditional charting patterns gonna give us the crystal ball to tell you exactly what this next move on Bitcoin is going to be? Absolutely not. Still kind of trending down in the volume. Picked up a little bit, the last few days, and then just kind of flattened out, right? We had that dip kind of back down to 10.2, I guess. Now it just kind of seems like we're testing these, but volume's down again. So we'll be watching it this week and kind of see if this plays out, or if we have some more definitive move, if we go test this 9K range. If it does break 9K, I don't see a lot of support on these charts between, that and 7,500, which is a line that I know a lot of people are watching. So, again, if you're looking to pick up a little spot, or that worries you, right? Maybe you're over leveraged, or maybe it's worth watching, right? Personally, I'm not doing any high leverage trading. I do have some automated robots over on that screen over there that have some positions still open in in the 12s. So it's a little bit different kind of trading, very small positions and a lot of them, which mitigates risk and allows it to deleverage itself. And anytime that Bitcoin's doing these volatile moves down, which has actually been really nice because it's protecting my stack. If you'd like more information about that, automated trading, more advanced cryptocurrency trading, just go out to my Twitch page, click on the Compound Bot Discord link, go out there. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff out there, and some amazing traders and experts, not just in the robot part of that BitMEX trading stuff, but all kinds of trading information. So that's another wonderful group of people. So don't hesitate to ask me about any of that. Splitter can attest to that. Those guys are pretty awesome. We've been involved in that project since the very get-go. So yeah, real people, right? Real people doing real projects. There's been bumps in the road, right? I mean, it's like real life, and we're actually doing it, not just talking about it or bitching about it or complaining about stuff, right? I'm glad I got here, right? And I know that I got caught up in some of that too, just kind of complaining or, again, yelling into the void. We're not doing that anymore. We're going to be more efficient with our time. This is fun for me. I enjoy doing this. Obviously, I'm passionate about this kind of stuff. And just sharing ideas and information, getting back into the gaming culture again. And of course, I re-upped on freaking Warcraft, and now I just want to play all the time, which hasn't become a problem yet. My wife hasn't divorced me. I'm doing a pretty good job of managing my time, but I wish I could clone myself right now and be involved in all these awesome things. Any more questions about Bitcoin short term? Again, this is the king, right? So a lot of things do follow it. We had a nice couple of up days with basically everything, right? And now it's starting to flatten out, and you can see the kind of numbers on the 24-hour numbers starting to come back down. They're about level, but some interesting levels on a lot of these things. So I'm going to just kind of start clicking through a few of the things that we've been watching. Stop me at any time. So last show, and I put out a couple of charts on ETH Bitcoin. So again, this is what we're watching that affects a lot of the altcoin markets, right? Especially anything tied to Ethereum. This was the support level we were watching at 1755. It broke. However, it's picked up some steam, and it's kind of, now it should be resistance, right? And we're going to test that level, but that's, at least something positive and not just nose diving. So again, this is a nice little trend line on the signal line on our MACD, RSI line. It does have a bullish cross, and, again, there's not a lot of momentum yet, but we'll keep an eye on it. No volume, low momentum, which is the consistent theme on a lot of these things right now. FUSD, again, is going to have to break that 200 mark for me to really believe in that. Referium did catch a bottom, so that's good news for our Referium people and Referium partners. Maybe I can pull out some sort of sound effect on that, because that one's been dipping. And that's a cool program if you're streaming. If you're not, even, it's just kind of a way to reward people to be on Twitch and following and watching and that sort of thing. So again, that's a beta program, really new. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. I'm a Referium partner, so click on my link. It does seem to have caught a bottom against the US dollar. Again, we'll keep an eye on that, but at least it's not in free fall anymore. So we'll keep an eye on this level as we go along. I'm not really paying much attention to Litecoin, but we can certainly look at that. Again, BNB, I'm not messing with any of that right now. I'm scared of just Binance in general, with the US, and obviously I'm in the US, so I basically abandoned ship on Binance, and I'm not proud of that, but it is what it is, right? Pain. The House of Pain, right? There's a. It wasn't that I necessarily don't think that Binance will produce some sort of product or have something viable in the US, or even that I'm necessarily scared of using a VPN to connect to Binance. It's just the uncertainty of all of it that made me not want to hold the coin anymore, Binance coin. So again, I'm not speaking from any sort of, definitive proof or experience that there's anything wrong with that exchange or it's any more or less shady than any of the other ones, right? But again, I did well on Binance in April and I sold it all. So what's wrong with that? Don't get emotionally, don't get emotionally tied to these things. If you're looking to move shit coins to make a little Bitcoin, then that's what you should be doing. You can't get emotionally tied to anything, even a link, right? And again, I don't know if the dilemma's on, but there's a lot of, people that really strongly believe that this is going to continue on, this rampage it's been on the last couple of years, and it very well could. But again, know what your overall trading plan is. And even if your strategies are long-term, understand kind of what your long-term goals are, right? What percentage of maybe your crypto portfolio you're willing to take risks on and maybe what you're not, or whether or not you want to be in cash and kind of waiting for opportunities. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of hardcore, I don't want to say maximalist because again, I don't like labeling people, especially in cryptocurrency, because I think that's just silly. There's just not enough people in cryptocurrency and involved in it actively, in my opinion, for them to like be so secular. And until that kind of changes, that's not going to improve on its own. The chart though does look, this was the level we were actually watching last week, and I think Dilemma was watching this, 17,000 level. Again, it's looking at resistance now again at the 18155 level. So that if I had, been holding that and taking my profits, I don't think I would be looking back on that again, but we'll keep an eye on it. If you guys have any questions about that one, let me know. Other things that we're just, obviously tracking the Dow. If there's anything you want to go look at in traditional markets, we'll take a look at metals too. The Dow, I'm having a hard time with stocks right now. I'm having a hard time with sectors. I'm having a hard time just even understanding what is driving markets because they're so cash inflated still. And even some of your Berkshires and your major players in the market are just holding their cash, kind of watching what's happening right now. So from an investment standpoint and from like a risk standpoint, that's kind of what I'm doing. I mean, it's that simple, follow the money. That's what I do that's what analysts do for a living, right? So that's what I've done in my investment career. Do what they do, right? Nobody's throwing money at this right now. So everybody's kind of in wait and see mode. And again, unless you're short term. We didn't really have any major changes in any of the other currencies that I was watching more on Forex, but I haven't really looked at anything. So let me know if there's anything that you guys would like to look at in particular. Yeah, we'll go look at that real quick. Currency pairs, again, all are pretty weak against the US dollar right now, which is going against what US policy is actually looking to do. And that's, stuff that you hear in the news, trade wars and that kind of thing. So the Chinese yuan is actually up on the USD, which is a change in that trend. But obviously you can see the overall trend is still tanking, and a lot of currencies look like this against the US dollar right now. So strong dollar is the theme in Forex. Oil kind of bounced back, which was interesting, I thought. The overall trend is definitely still down. And, this is the front month. We'll keep watching crude, but it did kind of bounce back. I haven't drawn any angled, lines or like mean lines on this this wedge here, but that's a pretty nice looking pattern. So I'm sure we could draw some nice lines in there if we wanted to. Last but not least, we'll go look at gold. This is the gold and silver index, but let's look at them individually too. And again, if you're watching this and you want to jump on TradingView, it's really easy to use, guys, and it's nice because they have cryptocurrencies loaded in there. And all you really need to learn is the symbols so that you can throw them in here. And I'd be happy to help you out, but Google's pretty good when it comes to looking for symbols. So all you really need is a free TradingView account and the symbol that you want to go look for. But we're going to do a lot of that. And again, I'll do some 5-minute videos. So I appreciate that feedback, guys. If I can help you, or be relevant and produce content that's relevant, that's what I want to do. Yeah, let's go. Go look at the gold futures front month. So this is a brand new chart. It's a weekly. So tanking, I don't know. Tanking short term, yeah. I mean, that's a pretty nice run though. Come on, man. See, he's short term again though. Long term, it's a pretty nice looking structure, if you want to call it that. But it is topping out. You know, it's going to start testing some sort of range here. And again, when you're looking at metals, the reason, I probably draw a line there, right? When you're looking at metals going against traditional markets, normally when metals are increasing in value, people are hedging their investments against traditional markets and the stock markets. But honestly, I've been around this stuff a long time, guys. I have a tough time with stocks right now and valuations and picking stocks, and it's just so automated and robotically traded, and I'm just not sure that, again, with so many of the companies themselves having a decade worth of cash saved up, buying back their own stock to keep the stock market moving and keep it from correcting is something that they can do. And it's what's been happening the last year. And that's why you see all this choppy stuff, right? Because there's no like real clear direction yet. Maybe that's good, maybe that's bad. I don't know. Again, I'm not a gloom and doomer for the stock market overall, like a lot of people are, but you know, there's definitely a lot of things that are glaringly bad, right? So maybe that's a separate conversation too for another show. Right. I mean, again, when you think about globally, right? Think about global for a second. Maybe traditional markets and banks are in a rut, right? It's time to redesign themselves. A lot of things need to change. We need to become more quote unquote digital, be less restrictive, include people in markets, right, that haven't been included in them before, right? And that's just growing as like humans, right? How fast is some of that stuff going to happen? I don't know, but I think the writing's on the wall, right? The writing's on the wall that is already starting to happen. So I think those are all good things. When it comes to resources on the planet, though, they're definitely not spread out very evenly right now. And again, I'm not a 99%er and say, going to preach Illuminati crap up here. I mean, I think a lot of people have more opportunities in this world than they give themselves credit for a lot of times. But there's no question about it that the wealthy elite, people that have had money passed down to them, generation to generation, they get richer. They don't get poorer, and there's a lot of reasons for that. So, is that going to change necessarily? Well, there's a lot of different thinking in markets, but those are things that we'll just have to kind of watch and grow and kind of see how things change together. Because again, like fintech, in my opinion, digital is a word that just gets thrown around a lot right now, and no one really knows what the fuck it means. You know what I mean? Like really, like in a conference call with a bunch of executives or bigwigs or whatever right now, there's always those corporate buzzwords and stuff that you hear, but again, fintech and digital is just one that I kind of see everywhere. And what does that really mean? Well, it could mean different things to a lot of people, but all it means to me right now is a buzzword without a lot of substance, quite honestly. Let's stop it. I wanted to look at the ETFs too. I'm sure silver probably looks the same, but we'll keep an eye on it. I mean, very similar. Actually, that those levels are a little different. Again, we can put a lot of different indicators. I actually got some cool ones And there's a cool indicator that you can grab off of TradingView right now that Crypto Messiah just published. So let's throw that on there. It's called the HXRO underscore crypto trader indicator. So if you use TradingView, he's got this on beta right now, and it'll add all of these lines to your chart, which are yearly, monthly, weekly lines, and also some indicators, and they look really cool, right? Lime green. It'll also give you an indicator on whether or not, you know, it thinks this is an uptrend or a downtrend. The white candles are uptrends and the gray candles are downtrends. Really slick, really nice. Called HXRO. And if you jump out to his Twitter page, he's got a link to his TradingView out there, and you can just go save it to your favorites. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about and you'd like some help doing that, just let me know. The heat map kind of shows the Bitcoin orders down below where we're at right now in price, 10.2. It did go down and tap that once. That was what? This morning or late last night, I guess, depending on where you're at. And the majority of the orders on the heat map are still down, you know, in the 10.2 range. So if you're looking short term, I'd probably be looking more down than up, just based on that. Anything else at all from the cryptos, top 20, anything you guys want to look at? Otherwise, I'm going to cut it short here at 8:30 and get on here and play some video games, because I've got the itch. I've got the itis. Nothing really on the top 20 that's standing out to me. Again, you know, pretty much all the altcoins have had a decent few days. But this is really nice too, guys. If you don't go out to Crypto Watch, you know, again, make yourself a little crypto bookmark link and add that one, because you can drill down on any of these and it'll show you the actual markets that they're traded in. So like, you know, this is Bitcoin, and it'll show you BitMEX, OKCoin, Binance, you know, BitZ, basically all of the big exchanges. And then you can go out to the individual exchange if you want to look specifically at that exchange and what's going on with the price. This is really nice. And I think, you know, as far as crypto goes, all of this stuff, all of the features, all of these websites will continue to grow and be nicer and provide better analytics. And it seems like a lot of it, you know, is free or low cost too, which I like. My pleasure. Thank you very much, Gary. And it's always a pleasure. And if you don't already follow that guy, make sure you jump out there and follow him, because he rocks. See if I can actually do a shout out. Yeah. And thank you very much to you guys for being awesome. And thank you very much for that cheer, 2-bit cheer. I appreciate that. I'm pretty sure that's Humbird. Thank you very much for the donation too as well. I appreciate that. And the subscription. Obviously, I'm just getting started, and we're going to look at all kinds of different time slots too. I'd like to get some videos recorded. And I keep saying it, but I'm really going to try to make some 5-minute videos so that they're a little bit easier to digest, and they'll be individual topics. Well, of course, I always appreciate everyone, you know, that's been motivating me to get this off the floor, but you guys especially, you know, Frosty, and you guys in my chat room right now too. And obviously Splitter, you know, I appreciate all your support and help, and I'm looking forward to doing the grumpy old man call, you know, in the morning. But again, I'm not in any hurry, so we'll get there. Give yourself a round of applause, guys. Hallelujah. And we'll go ahead and throw up the ending here soon, just so we can say see you next time and have a nice looking graphic. But again, you know, really appreciate it, guys. And again, we're just getting started, and we're like a month in here. I feel like I'm a veteran streamer, and I've literally been doing this for 30 days. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun. It's been my pleasure, truly, meeting you guys. I appreciate all the love and support wherever you are right now. Hope you have a great evening or a great day, and we'll see you next time. Thank you very much.